Hello friends! I was trying to come up with a topic to cover, and House Beautiful has come through for me again with an article that has inspired the idea for today's video. Their article is entitled "The 30 Most Iconic Interior Design Styles According to Experts." Now, as a designer, I do agree that these are some pretty iconic design styles, but I don't necessarily agree with all 30. So I have used some from this list, I have added some of my own, and I have cut it down to 20 design styles because 30 just seemed like a lot. Are these necessarily the 20 most iconic design styles of all time? Maybe not. That's a pretty big claim, but these are definitely styles that I find interesting and influential. There are a few that were on the House Beautiful list that I also chose not to include because they are topics I have already covered more in depth on previous videos. Some of these are historical styles that I think are worth knowing about, and some of them are more modern looks that we have seen in recent years. But either way, having some familiarity with these design styles can be really useful. The more we expose ourselves to all different kinds of interiors, the more skilled we become at recognizing good design. All right, well, we've got 20 design styles to get through, so let's not waste any time. Here we go. All right, first design style is rustic. So rustic was one of the design styles on the House Beautiful list. Rustic design is characterized by the use of raw, unrefined natural materials and finishes. Think rough woods and unpolished stone. And the color scheme of a rustic interior is typically neutral and organic. Rustic is a pretty broad and general kind of concept. Depending on how you choose to incorporate rustic elements in your space, it could lend itself towards several different looks, whether it be a farmhouse feel, cabin vibes, or a more primitive look. Design style number 2 is Victorian. So Victorian is one that I've chosen to add to the list myself. The Victorian style originated in 19th century England under the reign of Queen Victoria, obviously. It was characterized by interiors that were highly decorated and ornamental. We're talking lavish furnishings, ornate wallpapers, and rich colors. Victorian design also drew inspiration from such historical eras as Gothic Revival and medieval styles. We don't necessarily see all that many true Victorian interiors all that often anymore, but we do still see Victorian elements incorporated into interiors with more of a mix of styles. And if you are someone that loves a good antique, this is definitely a design era you want to get to know if you don't already. Our third design style is neo-industrial. Okay, let's take a sharp turn from Victorian right into neo-industrial. As House Beautiful states, the neo-industrial style borrows elements of industrial architecture, like the concrete walls, steel details, and Spartan windows. The industrial style has definitely had its moments, but there can also understandably be a bit of an aversion to the coldness of this look. If you do have some of these neo-industrial elements in your space, counteract that feeling by bringing in some warm colors, soft textures, and natural materials. That contrast of styles can create a really unique and interesting interior with a lot of character. Moving on to design style number 4, we have Brutalism. Brutalism is another historic design style that has a certain harshness to it that isn't going to appeal to everyone. But even if you don't want to live with this look, it's still one that I think is worth knowing about. There are many examples of brutalist architecture that I find to be really fascinating. Here in my hometown of Calgary, our former planetarium, which is now an art museum, is actually one of my favorite buildings in the city. So while this very utilitarian style with its raw materials, geometric shapes, and lack of color might not feel like an obvious choice for a residential interior, there are some very cool brutalist-inspired designs out there that could become a real statement piece in your home. Okay, friends, style number 5 is traditional. So traditional design is on the House Beautiful list, but they didn't actually explain or define it. And it is one of those rather broad, general kind of design terms. Now, I do recognize that I use the term traditional quite often on this channel. I use the term to describe interiors that utilize classical, historical elements. Elements with a certain level of ornamentation and formality. Some people love a traditional interior. I am not really one of those people, but I do respect it. And I also know that introducing the occasional traditional element here and there can be a great way to add depth and character to a space. Style number 6, transitional. It's basically a style that combines elements of traditional and modern and creates a look that fits somewhere in between. I suppose there are some that might see this as non-committal, but as a person who always advocates for the mixing of design styles, this is something about transitional design that I actually appreciate. All right, style number 7 is maximalist. Okay, maximalism. Here's a design style I think most of us have a basic understanding of, whether we appreciate it or not. It's really all about embracing all different elements of design. Rich color, bold pattern, art and furniture with a strong point of view. If you are a person who loves stuff and wants to be surrounded by it and have it all out on display, you're probably someone who appreciates maximalism. Let's just keep in mind that maximalism is still a style. It's not just about creating a bunch of clutter. The pieces in a maximalist space should still be considered, and the way that they are displayed should be thoughtful. Okay, number 8 is minimalist. Now, on the complete opposite end of the design spectrum from maximalism, we have minimalism. If you like maximalism, you likely dislike minimalism, and vice versa. Minimalism can be the ideal design style for those who prioritize simplicity. If clutter brings you anxiety, then minimalism likely brings you a sense of calm and peace. Maintaining a truly minimalist interior does require a certain amount of discipline. There isn't space for the superfluous. This is all about prioritizing function. There can be a real beauty in minimalism when it has been thoughtfully designed. Although those of us that appreciate it still don't necessarily want to live with it. But if you do, more power to you. And number 9, Scandinavian. To quote House Beautiful, at its core, the Scandinavian interior design style is characterized by an aesthetic that combines minimalism with coziness and functionality. So if a clean and simple aesthetic appeals to you, but the idea of minimalism leaves you feeling a bit cold, Scandinavian design might just strike the right balance. Pale woods, soft colors, cozy textures, and clean lines are all important aspects of Scandinavian design. And here we are at number 10, arts and crafts. The arts and crafts movement began in the 19th century as a reaction to the soulless mass production of the Industrial Revolution. It was a movement focused on craftsmanship and a respect for the decorative arts. The arts and crafts style featured natural forms and honest materials. The name perhaps most commonly associated with the arts and crafts movement is William Morris. Many of his designs, especially his fabric and wallpaper patterns, are still in use today. And style number 11, coastal. The coastal design style is one that evokes the laid-back, relaxed vibes of life by the water. According to House Beautiful, it incorporates muted colors, organic textures like wicker and rattan, and wavy or botanical prints. If you live somewhere landlocked, an obvious coastal style could feel a bit inauthentic. But there are definitely ways to incorporate a coastal color scheme or similar use of materials in a more subtle way that can work in any location. Just take care not to go overboard on anything that's too heavily themed. All right, number 12. Bohemian. The Bohemian design style might make you think of the boho trend that we have seen in recent years, but this is a movement that actually has been around for a long time. It's a relaxed, informal style that combines globally inspired elements in a casual, laid-back way. It is definitely not a look that feels minimal or modern. The Bohemian aesthetic uses color, decoration, and layered furniture to create spaces full of personality. So rather than settling for the mass-produced style of the boho trend, look to create a more authentic Bohemian space by seeking out unique, artisan-crafted pieces collected from all over the globe. And number 13, English Cottage. Another design style that has been trending recently due to the cottage core aesthetic is English Cottage. The English Cottage style is warm and it is cozy, combining such elements as floral fabrics and wallpaper, painted woodwork, and charming vintage pieces. And again, rather than going that mass-produced route, look for the real thing. The English Cottage look is actually a great one to thrift. And design style, number 14 is Mediterranean. The Mediterranean style is similar to the coastal style in that it originates in places near the water. In this case, we are specifically talking about the Mediterranean Sea. And each culture along that coastline brings something unique to the aesthetic. From Italy, it's plaster and stone. From Greece, it's a blue and white color scheme. Spain brings deep woods and colorful tile. France inspires with vintage pieces and soft, muted colors. And from Morocco, we see arched doorways and beautiful pattern. Design style number 15 is shaker. When you hear of shaker style, you might automatically think of the cabinet doors, but there is much more to shaker design than just a door profile. The Shakers lived a simple and communal lifestyle. The Shaker design principles were an extension of that. They valued simple, straightforward designs, function and utility, durability, and a connection to nature. The influence of the Shaker style continues to be seen today, which says a lot about the utility, the simplicity, and the beauty of these timeless designs. And design style number 16 is Eclectic. Eclectic design happens to be one of my personal favorites. It's a look that combines various design styles and eras, mixes new with vintage, and places a priority on uniquely personal interiors. For that reason, eclectic design can be challenging to define. But the fact that it doesn't easily fit a specific mold is what makes eclectic design so interesting. And number 17 is 70s revival. If you love the 70s, I'm sure you've been happy to see the recent revival of 70s style. I know that I have found this trend to be a particularly great one. This is an updated version of 70s style. So as House Beautiful points out, there is no shag carpet requirement with this look. It is instead characterized by shades of brown, polished chrome, and low-slung furniture. And number 18, contemporary. Contemporary design can be another one that's difficult to pinpoint, and that's because it's a style that is ever-changing. Interiors that are considered contemporary reflect what is happening right now in design in this current moment. So as time passes and interior design evolves, the definition of what makes a space contemporary is going to change. There are, however, some elements that contemporary designs tend to have in common. Clean lines, minimal ornamentation, functionality, natural light, and a neutral color scheme. We tend to use the terms contemporary and modern interchangeably, but keep in mind that technically they do not mean the same thing when we're talking about design. Modern design refers to the design style of a specific time period, as in the modernist movement of the mid-20th century. Contemporary design, however, is not a specific aesthetic or design movement. It is a reference to the current state of design and therefore always in flux. All right, we're getting close, guys. Number 19 is Regency. The Regency style is, of course, another historical design movement, one that is known for its elegance and formality. While the Regency era occurred in England in the 19th century, its influences go back much further, taking inspiration from ancient Greece and Rome. Modern-day iterations of the Regency style still utilize the intricate millwork, gilded fixtures, geometric details, and symmetry that characterize the aesthetic. Okay, our last design style, number 20, is Memphis. Now, I have touched on the Memphis movement before in my video about the 80s postmodern movement, but very few of you ever watched that video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it again. The Memphis design movement was founded in Italy by architect Ettore Sottsass, and his name is the one still most commonly associated with the movement. It was bold, it was colorful, it was playful. It also was, and well, really still is, rather polarizing. You probably either love it or you hate it. For those of us that remember the 80s, there can be a lot of nostalgia tied to this aesthetic, which might be another reason why you either love it or hate it. We have seen a bit of a resurgence of the Memphis aesthetic in recent years, with some of these iconic pieces becoming highly sought after vintage collectibles. I just think it's a lot of fun, and I think the occasional Memphis-inspired piece can be a really great addition to our modern-day interiors. All right, friends, there we have it. 20 iconic interior design styles in under 20 minutes. We'll see how long the final cut ends up being. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope we see you again at the next one, and bye for now.